G'day, fellas. Welcome to the first game in the Haitch versus Knuschelbär series. This is a match in the preliminaries to play against Kaiser Klein in the finals for the 1K table topper. The prize pool has been upped from 1K up to 1,500, and tonight we find out whether a player will be successful in breaking the tie and going through to face Kaiser Klein. Spawning in the south of the map, we've got Knuschelbär playing the Swedes. Now, for those of you who don't know, Knuschelbär has been a big Sweden player. More recently, in this tournament, the question was going to be raised, are we banning Sweden from the tournament? And the answer was no. We are not banning Sweden from the tournament, and the reason why is quite simply, I'm a Sweden main, and I want to see Sweden in the tournament, and I'd hate to exclude it. No, but in all seriousness, we are including Sweden in the tournament. It was included in the most recent tournament as well, so I think that it's quite fair. I know that as games move on and become a bit more competitive, it comes quite common practice to ban civilizations that have been dramatically changed. Sweden, I think, are in a spot at the moment where they're a little bit undiscovered, but I'm curious to see what we're going to see out tonight. So we've got Knuschelbär spawning in with the Swedes. Very excited to see. Opting for a trade post. Let's go check what his opponent, playing on the north-hand side of the map, is playing. He's also playing Sweden, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a Sweden mirror to open us off with. Let's get rid of that fog of war and make sure we can see what's going on. There's a prediction going on in chat right now. Put your bets on. Who do you think is going to win the first game? We've got a Sweden mirror. Oh my god, I'm actually fucking jizzing in my pants right now. Okay. All right, Drongo, control yourself. All right, so let's talk about what's going on here. So the players are hitting the middle of the map up, and the reason why they're hitting the middle of the map up is because this is where the goats are. And I'm not talking about give you anxiety. I am talking about the goats, the little bad boys right here. Where are they? Here they are. So they spawn in the middle of the map. So we can see that Noosh has actually come away with how many? Why can't I see any goats on the map? There's 2 goats there. Did Haitch get any goats? Haitch got a couple of goats as well. And so we've got friend and foe colors on. I think I probably need to turn that off. Actually, no, we don't. We've got red and blue. That's perfectly fine. Okay, wonderful. Zoro Ronan asking in the chat, why can't I vote? It's probably because you're from a country which doesn't have voting enabled. At the moment, Twitch has only got it enabled on a couple of countries. There are countries that have laws that prevent your votes. So one of the interesting things that we're already seeing, H is opting for tree torps, opening up with tree torps. So we've got a 0.25 here and a 0.15. Not the best torps, if I'm being honest. This one does look pretty good. Like, you look at that, you think that's probably a 0.35. But unfortunately for H, it's not meant to be a 0.35. So let's take a look at H's decks. We've got a lot of interesting cards in here. Some HP for the Hussars, as well as the 2 heavy cannons in Age 4. We've also got the leather light gun carriages. Very exciting to see. I love that this card is now meta. And interestingly, we've got Royal Mint, no refrigeration. We've got the Jaegers in deck, as you would expect. But other than that, looks pretty standard. No ironworks. No ironworks for H. I don't know if that's an oversight, or maybe he's just not planning on sending it. Also, no 8 pikes in the deck as well. But over to the north-hand side of the map, we do have Sven, H's Explorer, taking these tubers. Let's go check on Knuschelbär, and see what he's up to. It looks like he's heading towards the north-hand side. Has he actually uncovered this? He has uncovered it. He's actually got his little Makaki there, but the Makaki gets taken out of H, and it turns out that Freitag is probably going to go down here, but Noosh has got quite a big HP lead over H. Did I say? Yeah, Noosh has got a very big HP lead over H. Okay, he's got a very big health lead on his Explorer over H. And that really gives him a lot of priority. He can force him back and say, look, you go get in your base. And he misses the melee attack here. Just definitive edition things. Now Noosh is opting for his age up. He's placed his Torp on a coin mine, which is probably the right choice. His Torp is also eating the goat as well. Great move by Noosh. And Noosh going up now with the Naturalist, which is definitely, in my opinion, it's becoming meta. I think that you're probably going to be taking the Naturalist in about 90% of matchups for Sweden. Let's check on the Swedish home city for Noosh. Interesting. Very interesting. We see this deck orientated towards the late game. He's got 16 Carolians in here. So that's almost indicating to me he wants to fast industrial. But we do not see light gun carriages coming out for Noosh. But we do have the Ironworks card in here. To be honest, this kind of looks a little bit similar to my deck recently. Probably a bit more heavy towards the industrial side. But nonetheless, Noosh also picking up a goat now on the east-hand side of the map. And we've got H putting down some... These are almost British Manor-esque style. Look at that. That's a 0.35. Pretty good, but there's no hunts nearby to pick this one up. But I do like this. This is good because it sort of forces your opponent to really get out on the map and burn these torps down and find the individual torps. It's really hard to counter. If you've got 4 torps on a coin mine up here, well, guess what? I just send 5 pikes up there, I leave them for 5 minutes, and they're all dead. But in that situation, it's a little bit harder. Now we've got Knusch here, who is going to be taking out this 80 coin treasure. Let's go check back in on H, see if he's got the age up in Q. He does, and he's gone the governor. So a lot more aggressive. I would definitely say that the governor is an aggressive opening, especially as a Swedish player in a Sweden mirror. If I'm going to governor, I'm getting real aggressive. Maybe on a map like New England is when I'd be taking it. We've got a couple treasures down here to the south as well. 2 tigers being guarded by H. Curious if he's going to be aiming to pick that up. And straight away, we do see Dominions coming in. So no mistake, and shipping Ironworks first. Well, I know that H doesn't have Ironworks in his deck, but there are some players who do like to ship Ironworks first. I'm not looking at anybody, Keister. But we also have an age up about to come in from Knusch. There it is. You hear the beautiful sound, and the 2 cows begin marching. It looks like he's opted for some tree torps as well. Let's have a look at the line of sight that he's managed to get up. Look at these torps. I love the way that Knusch is placing these torps just in the choke points, just so that if any incoming raids do happen, he's able to scout them out. And it looks like he is prioritizing coin mines, but at the same time, and obviously we know that because he's got Ironworks in his deck, so he's going to want to prioritize coin mines. But just a couple of torps out just to really get that line of sight in, and obviously really taking advantage of the 0.35 wood that he's getting. Now, the 3rd shipment arrives for Knusch already. Curious to see if he's going to be putting something in queue. Let's take off the line of sight. We don't see anything in queue. I would suspect we probably see the 700 wood coming out after the Dominions, and depending on what angle he goes for. But we've got H's Dominions now rolling out across the map. Oh my god, I tell you what, guys, I'm in heaven right now. When Sweden gets picked, I'm a happy man. When Sweden gets picked twice, I'm a little bit concerned. For any devs that are watching at the moment, Sweden is a perfectly balanced civilization and is not broken at all. Please don't be looking at the civ. Now let's switch back over to Knusch's side. Let's take a look and see whether he has been shipping the 700 wood. We also see the 700 wood. So Knusch has got 4 Corollians in queue. H has got 4 Corollians in queue. So despite going for a more aggressive build, aging up a little bit earlier, we still see the Corollian numbers are relatively even. The Corollians coming out a little bit earlier for H. But let's take a look. I prefer to turn the line of sight off when I'm doing this. It's much easier to see where the villagers are going, because you are going to be expecting, oh, we actually see H sending out that forward villager, but realizing there's already a torp down on this coin mine. If there's a torp down on this coin mine, it's almost suicide. It's almost suicide to be sending that villager out. So we've got the Corollians. They unfortunately path a little bit awkwardly in the way that they move just around the edge of the pond here. They kind of almost look like they wanted to go there, but obviously H picking up the line of sight over here, sending out a 2nd villager, interestingly, and of a different gender, I think it was, but noting that there is a torp up here. So first priority is going to be taking out any settlers that are in the vicinity. 2nd priority is going to be sieging down this torp, but it looks like he might have just commanded them onto the torp. We've got the 2nd batch of Corollians that comes out for H. It's only a batch of 3. H doing a bit of miss macro here, only 3 villagers on coin, doesn't have that Ironworks in yet, so he's really going to be needing to focus a bit more. But one of the amazing things, God, H has got so many torps up. He's on 19 torps. Did he go 600? How does he have so many torps right now? It's 6 minutes 30 and he's basically max torps. He's putting up his last torp at 6 minutes 4. God damn, H. Now we go back to the action. H, despite neglecting his military, has obviously been doing quite well with his torp numbers. If we go and have a look at Knusch on the other hand, Knusch is sitting on 16 torps, behind 4 torps. But Knusch definitely focusing on the Corollians a lot more than H was. And as a result, he's able to pick up a pretty good trade. Keep in mind that H... Oh no. Oh, H. What are we doing? What are we doing? All right, H is back on board. So we're currently riding with Knuschelbär. Things are looking pretty good for Knusch, I would say. He's got his 2nd racks up. He's got his 700 coin on the way. He has not shipped his Ironworks. But that trade up here on the the north side of the map, is definitely a favorable thing for him, because it really comes down to tempo. And so Knusch got those 5 Corollians out a little bit earlier, and then he got his reinforcing batch in. He got the full batch in, so that's looking good. H is putting down the 2nd barracks now, but Knusch is already in on his 2nd barracks, and this is enabling him to get a much bigger mass, an earlier mass. So we see there's 13 Corollians here for Knusch, whereas we've only got 6 Corollians for H. And once this batch comes out, H is going to be on 11, but Knusch is going to be double training a batch. He's got 18. Well, my mistake, he's got 18 Corollians, a huge mass for Knusch. Curious to see how H is going to deal with this. So despite investing relatively early, in torps. Let's take a look what we've got. So we've got we have identical build orders coming out now. 3 vills, dominions, 700 wood, followed by blueberries, and then on the opponent's side we've got 3 vills, 700 we've got dominions, 700 wood, blueberries, and then we've got 700 coin. Now keep in mind Knusch is a little bit ahead because of the trading post that he put down. A little bit of missed macro as well. Knusch going for that age up. Pretty good time as well. This is an amazing semi-FF that we're seeing right here. 18 Carolian double rack semi-FF. Going to be up just before 9 minutes as well. Pretty darn crazy. I'm really impressed with that build order. I got to go back and watch this replay. I got to see exactly what he's doing because that looks freaking sweet, man. Sitting on 19 torps. I tell you what, 19's not too bad. H now sending in the 700 coin as well. We see, so they're mirroring build orders. So even though Sweden is somewhat undiscovered, it's interesting to see that both players have both like gravitated towards this same build order. And we do see an artillery foundry going down somewhere in the middle of the map. So H going to be probably looking to prepare for the falconets that are inevitably going to come out. Probably going to well, H has got his age up in or almost in queue once the 700 coin arriving. Oh my god. Oh my god, it's leather cannons. Brr. Can I see the brrts in chat? Do we have some brrts in the chat, please? Holy fuck, man. We're seeing leather cannons. This is actually shaping up to be the big battle that I often see. Is you've got like the leather cannons against the falconets. Often like a player will be like, oh, like Pirashiki, he sends those 2 falconets out, gets them on the field, and I'm like, am I going to be able to deal with those falconets with my leather cannons? That's often the question, but we do see a bit of a score jump here from Knusch. Obviously he has aged up, he's reached the 3rd age now. The first leather cannon is out. It's probably not going to be enough. If I would like to see a few more cannons coming out from H, but H is going to have that age up in queue, probably going up about a minute behind Knusch, maybe a little bit more. And now putting down that 2nd leather cannon. He's got that one up in queue, getting the gang saw as well from the market. He's going to be chopping a lot of wood. We see him moving now towards this. Look at this perfect macro. God, everything just under 100 resources. Very, very nice. Meanwhile, on Knusch's side, God, Knusch. Yo, Knusch, we got something to talk about, my friend. You got a little bit too much food right there. Now, we do have the falconets arriving in from the forward torp. And the falconets are really going to be able to apply pressure because at the moment H is going to have those the leather cannons in queue, but is he going to have enough leather cannons? He's got 3 leather cannons and he has the age up going. He doesn't have any shipment that's available right now, so the 2 falconets are really going to be what's pivotal. We've also got the veteran Carolians coming out. We don't have any upgrades on these other than the veterancy. There hasn't been any infantry hit points shipped yet. Let's go have a look at Knusch. Knusch is really struggling with his coin right now. His macro in particular. He's got 4 villages on food. Probably wants to ship those over to coin. Avoid sending blackberries right now because he's got an excess of food. And now the outpost of H begins targeting down this falconet. It's down to 140 HP. It's probably something that that hasn't been realized yet by Knusch. Because something that you want to avoid doing is losing this HP on your falconet. It's so important. And we get the leather cannons moving into strike. It looks like they've gotten a volley off onto the Carolians, but not being able to take out the falconet. Falconet still sitting relatively safe at the back line, almost down at 102 hit points now. That's going to take 3 shots from the leather cannon to take it out. Does H have any more leather cannons in queue? Oh my, H is going for the light gun carriages and he's got 2 more leather cannons in queue. Once he ships this, his leather cannons are going to be absolutely breaking out of control. And we've got the 2nd racks now, or the initial racks going down from H. Knusch is doing a lot of work right now, pulling ahead in score as well, up 2k points. But the question is going to be, are the leather cannons, which are now infantry guns, going to be able to overcome the falconets? And look, to be honest, I would much prefer the leather cannons in this position. I've been in this position many a time, and while the falconets, they look cool. Here we go, the leather cannons moving into strike. The first falconet goes down. Leather cannons survive the double volley. And the 2nd falconet goes down. Meanwhile, so H is now sitting on 3. He's just trained another 2 infantry guns. H is looking very strong in this position. Incredibly difficult to deal with for Knuschelbär. How is Knusch going to... Knusch reacts by training a culverin. Interesting. I think this is the correct choice. Calves are definitely difficult to deal with. H is doing the Carolian Carolian retreat towards... Oh, sorry, no, that's Knusch doing the Carolian retreat. I apologize. Knusch doing the Carolian retreat towards H's base. I'm a little bit confused when there's so many Sweden players in the game. God, how good are these fucking infantry guns, man? Oh, I'm so excited. And so H losing 1 villager going down. I think that's the first villager lost of the game. 2nd vill doesn't go down, but this Rax is probably going to get sieged and then moved on. Now, keep in mind, H hasn't used his charge yet. H is going to be able to potentially trap here. Is he going to... He gets the Minutemen batch out. The Minutemen also are going to be enabling him to snare. He's got the veterancy upgrades on his Carolians, and we see the Brits just bring their way away. Oh, man. This is what I live for. Knusch is in a bit of a tough spot, though. splitting up his forces. I think this is the right move. The leather cannons, while they're fast for artillery, they are immobile. And we've got some more leather cannons just facing off against Corollians on the south side. A bit of the battle continues to rage on. The leather cannons being mismicroed in between them, and this is why Knusch has done the right thing. Had he gone in to fight this, he would have been in such a hard spot. And it looks like H has actually done the Corollian charge here. We can see they've all entered the melee mode. We'll watch them. Yeah, the charge just finished. And you can tell that they just did their charge because they were all standing still. So one of the things with the charge is that you have to charge and then immediately move them. Otherwise, they will just stand still. So it feels terrible, but Knusch doing the right thing. We go take a look at Knusch's line of sight right now. Look at all the units he's got around here. Snagged a goat from H, 200. Well, that's a thick boy right there. But doing the right thing, keeping his attention in different places, and that's 100% what he needs to be doing in this spot. We take a look around the map. Look at Knusch just dotting his torps around. A bit of a tussle going on towards the north side. But H dropping down a forward racks as well. Do we have a villager that's going to be coming out for that one? Where are your villagers, H? I don't see any villager that's coming down for this. Maybe I'm missing it. Maybe I'm missing it. Can anybody see this villager? Alright, so checking in on H. His ship snap locked from the home city. It means his Corollians are going to have a slightly higher attack. What about Knusch? Has Knusch shipped his... Oh, Knusch is shipping hacker pellets. An interesting way to deal with the leather or the infantry guns. I don't know if I agree with it. Leather cannons... Do they really represent such a threat? I feel like Culverin are more than enough to nullify it. I feel like in this position... Oh, he's getting a second Culverin out. Okay, so one of the interesting things is Culverin and their interaction with leather cannons, you're going to need 2 shots to kill a leather cannon. Because leather cannon have got 212 HP. You're also going to need 3 shots from a falconet to kill them. But the hacker pellets now entering into the base of Hazza. Oh, sorry, H. I apologize, Hazza. I apologize, H. Oh, God, I'm confused. Don't worry. In a year's time, we're not even going to remember who Hazza was, because it's all about H. It's the year of the H right here. And Knusch is seeing if he can challenge him. And H now pushing quite aggressively into the base of Knusch, spotting this Culverin, and really just going for it completely. And the charge finishing off, ending up in quite an awkward spot. We've got a Colv to the north. The Colv manages to get a shot onto the infantry gun. Actually does a huge amount of splash damage, which is going to make it really easy to pick off these other infantry guns. The second one going down. Let's take a look and see if we can spot the health on these bad boys. Let me grab them. There we go. They're very, very weak. One of the things that both players have neglected is to include... Oh, wait, we're missing a raid on the north-hand side of the map. H has got a couple of villages that are going down, but the TC manages to get up in time before all of those villages go down. The Corollians are going to be able to clean up the hacker pellets, and the Rap God is out, ladies and gentlemen. Holy moly. At the same time, we've got the infantry guns on the Culverin on the south side of the map. I'm curious to see... Okay, nothing's going on the north. But it looks like H is actually going to be able to pull that one out, taking down the Culverins. But we've got a charge coming in from the south-end side of Knuschelbär, coming in to charge. This is actually the triple charge coming in from Knusch. All 3 sides. It's the triple Corollian charge. You hate to see it. You really do. But it looks like Knusch is actually going to clean this one up quite considerably. These is more than enough Corollians to be able to one-shot a leather cannon. And despite H being in a really good spot, it looks like it's been turned around. He almost got baited in a little bit by those, by the Culverin that was sitting there. And as a result, Knusch is pulling massively ahead. We've got H that's sitting on 7 Corollians. He's got 3 leathers that are out. And he's on 32 villages. And then we go look at Knusch. Knusch is on 31 villages. But he's shipping his upgrades. He's got platoon fire that's coming in because he's got that trading post. Keep in mind, this whole time the trading post has been working. He's opting for the blackberries instead. I like that. That's a good move. That's going to sort of guarantee him the game by doing that, because it's really going to make sure that his economy is ahead. But 41 Corollians. H's Corollian mass is beginning to build. 22 Corollians now to the 3 infantry guns of H. And we've got H opting to send in 9 Corollians as well, recognizing that... that this is a large mass. He's going to have to deal with it, but I really don't like this. Even though he is behind, I definitely feel like it would have been more optimal to send in an upgrade card, just simply because if this game does go on to a stage where it's a little bit more orientated towards the late game, you're really going to regret sending in those 9 Corollians. But at the same time, I guess H is number 1 on the ladder at the moment, so what do I know? What do I know? We don't see any real raids going on at the moment across the minimap. We've got a couple of GUA raids, AIDS raids, as I like to call them, and the Culverins are unpacking. The first shot goes down, second shot down. Knusch has been able to take out both of the infantry guns very successfully, and this is a very difficult thing to deal with. It really comes down to microing your artillery and being able to take out the opponent's Culverin before you lose all of your infantry guns. There's really two ways about it. You can either mass infantry guns so that you've got so many infantry guns your opponent can't deal with it, or you can build culves of your own, but it's difficult because you kind of need to outmass your opponent's culves to win the culve war. And so it's difficult. There's a lot of coin that's needed. We've got 43 veteran Caroleans for H, and Noosh has got 45. Noosh is a slightly more upgraded, a little bit more health, a little bit more speed. He's got the military drummer upgrade, and platoon fire is coming in. He's waiting for platoon fire. Then he looks like he's going to be engaging, but Noosh's micro is absolutely on point. We've got in the back the first leather, or the second leather cannon goes down. Noosh has got a massive 44 here compared to H on 37. It looks like H's are definitely a lot weaker compared to Noosh. And now Noosh got a reinforcing batch coming in on the front line. There's a bit of a raid going down on the bottom side with more of Noosh's units. Noosh is really having a lot of units here. It doesn't look good for H in this position. He's got 30 Caroleans, and especially against the upgraded Caroleans of Noosh in particular. 23 Caroleans now to Noosh. I love just going back and forth, really checking on the numbers. We've got the culves that sit here, and they really just guarantee that if H wants to bring in any more reinforcing infantry guns, he's going to have to deal with the culverins first, and that's going to be soaking up a lot of damage. If he does make the decision to go in, he does make the decision to charge, and as a result, it looks like the culves do manage to spot the infantry gun, and they've been able to take out one. That guarantees that at least one infantry gun is going to go down. The second culve is now still alive, but it looks like H has somewhat gone in for a little bit of a suicide with that charge. The forces of Knuschelbär now, he's got 20 Caroleans, and at the same time we've got a raid that is happening towards, heading straight into H's base. H doesn't look like he's in a good position here. And behind this, Noosh is sending 1,000 coin. He has shipped blackberries once. His economy's in an amazing position, and H calls the good game. Holy shit. Oh my, ladies, gentlemen, I'm gonna need to take a little bit of time. Just, oh my god. What a fucking game. Nonetheless, we continue, we move on, and we drive forward. Ladies and gentlemen, g'day fellas. Welcome to the second game between Knuschelbär and Haitch. Spawning in on the south of the map, we've got Knuschelbär. He is playing as the Japanese. You won't be surprised to see the Japanese being played. Obviously, in the first game, we had Knuschelbär on the Swedes, but now that he has won the first game with Sweden, he can't play Sweden again in the series. That's it. The Swedes are out of the series for him. This is a best of 3 series, so if Noosh wins this game, Noosh wins the series. In the north of the map, we have his opponent spawning in, Haitch, playing as the Swedes again. Yo, Haitch, I thought you didn't like the Swedes, buddy. No, I'm just kidding. I know that you're only playing him because you're getting down to business, mate. And I appreciate that. We see Haitch opting to choose. Now, keep in mind, Haitch actually got to choose this map, and he got to choose the matchup as well. So we try and give as much favor, I guess you'd probably say, to the person who loses the first game. So H has been able to choose this map, and he's opted for Himalayas. Now, Himalayas is an amazing map for the Swedes, and the reason why is because these trees get together real close. You can see he's got a 0.35 there and a 0.25 there. Done a fair bit of walking distance to get out here, and there's no hunts on these. So curious that he's gone for that option. I think maybe it's a bit of a better idea to sort of like go for that, but he is actually chopping. Did he pick up an early early wood treasure? I can't actually check the map. It just changes between players. So I can't check the chat history, but we do have a treasure contention. H going in. It looks like he's going to get the steal off. Oh wait, there's still a snow leopard, but he gets the snipe, and now he goes in for the steal. Congratulations to H winning the battle. But just remember, the battle is only the first part of the war. H looks like he's going to be able to get the snare on the Japanese explorer, but the explorer poofing out. We've also got this 75 wood treasure sitting in the middle of the map. So curious whether we're going to see a snipe come in for this one, how we're going to see the players play, what we're going to see. We actually see an early market coming out from Noosh. This is a little bit strange. Shipping the 2 villages, so not opting to send Heavenly Kami from the home city. Interesting. I've not actually seen this. Every single time I've watched a 2 villager opening, typically what we see is we see the players opt for double shrine. I wonder if Noosh has done the math and he's worked this out and said, you know what, this is actually better for me to send that first. But now we've got H opting to go for this 75 food treasure, but it looks like the food treasure has been scouted out by Noosh in the background. So even though H is out here, we've got the second explorer moving in. Does H see this in his line of sight? He doesn't actually see he sees the Japanese explorer now. The Japanese explorers begin to attack down H. H probably should have his crack shot up from the first engagement, but the question is going to be, so trying to go for a crack shot just there. Gets the crack shot, And it looks like Knusch has got that one. Knusch has managed to get the steal. He's also got a lot of damage onto the Swedish Explorer as well. So taking off the line of sight now. See where each of the players are up. Haitch has opted for the same deck again, neglecting to go for that Ironworks. Whereas Knusch is opting for... Let's have a look. He's opting for... This is an interesting deck because we don't see the 300 export coming out. I'm assuming that we see the Torii Gates getting dropped down from here. We do indeed see the Torii Gates getting dropped down by Knusch in this position. So I do like this opening. It's probably a little bit more safe to go the Torii Gates against Sweden just because you get out onto the map. You get to put down a lot of pressure and you're really not entering a boom off. Even though the Japanese boom is very strong, obviously part of the reason why Knuschelbär has actually picked up the Japanese, and now we see H has entered transitioning. Going up with the... Excuse me, guys, I got a burp. I just muted my mic so you didn't have to hear it. So H is going up with the Governor once again. Quite an aggressive age up. Maybe H is a little bit behind the meta on the Naturalist. I do know that the Naturalist is becoming quite popular. But at the same time, H is rank 1. Who am I to judge? So curious to see where he's going to be expanding. It looks like he's got some expansion going out on the torps, or going out on the trees to the east of the map, and at the same time over on the west hand side, so we can see he's got this beautiful ring that he's beginning to make, where he'll be expanding out with his torps towards the edges of the map, making sure that he keeps them as far away from his opponent as possible. But he's also got a villager out here as well, which he begins dropping down a torp. So one of the great things about these early torps, putting them down on trees, is that they begin ticking on their wood straight away. And this is a lot of wood. This is more than one villager would gather in age 1. That is a lot of wood, baby. And H coming in to scout. Let's check the line of sight, see where he's scouting for, see if he can spot the Torii Gates or whether he sees a Toshogu Shrine. And he does indeed scout the Torii Gates, definitely. And he knows straight away and immediately commands it back. Seeing that Torii Gates, knowing that it's in the final stage and watching it age up immediately. Is the Samurai going to be able to catch the Explorer? I don't think so. They've got the exact same speed, and the barracks being dropped down now from Knusch in his base, nice and safe, not opting to put that forward, which is something uncommon. You don't really see that a lot. Will the Explorer get snared by the Samurai? It looks like he's getting closer. He's really working his way onto it. And Knusch opting to send 600 wood as the first card. First card coming in from H in the second age is, of course, the Dominions. It's become a much more meta thing that we've seen. H's Torp Pop looking incredibly healthy already. 8 Torps up, 200 wood, dropping that barracks down. His barracks is a little bit behind the barracks of the Japanese, but it's to be expected when his age up was slightly later. Now, H is leading the Samurai to the base of the Swedes, and the question is he going to be able to get units out in time? The barracks of H is not going down. His barracks did not build. This is... Oh my god, this is just the definitive edition things right here. When H sees this, he is going to be absolutely fucking face palming. Oh my god, this feels so terrible as a Swedish player. And he realizes now and immediately fixes up his error. Well, I would say his error, but I would rather say that's just DE things right there. H not opting to send his torps to the outpost and then get them out on the map. It looks like he's going to be dropping his Dominions down, going for more optimal places, going for behind his base as well. So one of the things that you can do with your Dominions is send them out a little bit further because you're not losing villager seconds in having your villager go out and do that for you. Now on the front, if we go check out the line of sight of Knusch, have a look where he's expanded. He's got 70 population up through shrines. No villager in queue at the moment, but he is shipping 4 villagers. So not opting to go aggressive with 300 export, obviously because he doesn't have that in his deck, but not going down the route of the daimyo. Instead opting to go down the route. Gosh, I'm not going to say that word again. Instead opting to go with the villagers. Which is quite interesting, I would say, because you're kind of mixing the two. I think I've actually seen a player do this before, and it really... I guess my question is, okay, if you're going to go down a greedy route, why are you going for Torii Gates? Why not just go to Shogu Shrine? It kind of makes sense for me to do that. Whereas like here, you're kind of like mixing. Like obviously Torii Gates are really good. I appreciate that. H coming in for another snipe of the treasure. You cheeky... Look at H, just so bloody cheeky all the time. But Explorer unfortunately getting snared, really not scouting out that the Japanese Explorer was already on the way and donating 67 XP to Knusch. Knusch is in a prime position right now. Gosh, I tell you what. But let's have a look at the expansion from H. 160 Torp population. We've got more Torps going up. He's up to 17 Torps. H getting a free volley onto the Ashigaru. That's going to be enough to really give him the lead in the early game in the 5 versus 5 war that you do often see, where the 5 Ashigaru face up against the 5 Karolian, just simply because he's going to be able to come back and take this down. 5 Karolian will do 95 damage, if I am correct. Yeah, 95 damage, which is enough to 2-shot a Musketeer Ashigaru. So definitely H is going to have the advantage on that. But now Noosh spotting to the north of the map these torps that are being put down by H. And H has really got the advantage. This is the consequence of pushing out against a civilization that's got the home. But Noosh opting to do... This is something I've seen before from Noosh. He's picking up the Caches of Tin worth 150 coins. So that's going to be the second one he's picking up. And being pushed into the corner, they say that no one puts Knuschelbär in the corner. Well, it turns out that H actually does. And H looking like he's going to have to retreat here just because there's a little bit too many Ashigari Musketeers. On the south side of the map, we have continued expansion going on from H. What have we got going on for Noosh? And now we just did have the blueberry shipment has arrived. So we've gone 3 vills, Dominion, 700 wood into blueberries. Blueberries coming in at 7 minutes. H is sitting on that beautiful 20 torp population when his blueberries arrives. He's really got this build order worked out. He knows what he's doing. If it wasn't for that barracks being placed down and then unfortunately not going down, I'd say this is a perfect game so far from H. But he's also got 10 villages on coin, so not making that mistake that Noosh made last game where he neglected putting villages on coin. One of the things that people think about with Sweden is that if you've got torps on your coin mines, you really don't have to worry. But now we've got, sorry guys, I did miss a bit of the action, apologies. We've got the 9 Karolians that appear to be outmatching the Ashigaris quite well. Looks like Noosh is going to have to fall back, but we've got the divine strikes coming out from the explorers, the Japanese explorers. Is he going to be able to hit any of them? We don't see any divine strikes just yet. Keep in mind, divine strikes are perfectly balanced. 47.1 damage coming out at a chance of 25%. So if Noosh gets a good roll here, he will just be able to pretty much just one-shot a Karolian. Noosh actually losing both of his explorers. This is pretty big. If you're able to take out both explorers in the early game against Japan, oh my god, doesn't that feel amazing? So H is in a dominant position, I would say, at this point. Despite... Oh, I don't know. Let's have a... I say that, and then Noosh is on the way up to H3. Gosh. Everybody talks about how Sweden is so unstoppable, but hey, check out Japan, mate. But interesting to see that in the first game, both players did obviously go for Sweden. In the second game, the one player that had it available to them still opted for Sweden as well. So there is really no question about whether Sweden is the top of the table or not. I'm just curious to see what we're going to see both of the players end up doing. Because we've got here the Shogunate, which is coming up. So that's going to provide the Daimyo for Noosh. He's also got the stable that's going to be going down. So for some reason, opting to make cavalry, which is very interesting as a civilization, which has got very dominant musketeers and Yumi. So we've actually got some Yumi coming in from Noosh. I do like this switch. I think this switch is very difficult to deal with as a Swedish player. You're going to have to go into falconets or into leather cannons. And you can only really choose one of them. And it makes it very easy for the Japanese opponent to counter. Now, Noosh going up to the 3rd age, receiving that experience, combining... I like this. So with the Torii Gate, you've got extra experience. How did these explorers... Oh, they got up from this Ashigaru. Both of the explorers managing to get out. Very, very cheeky with the Ashigaru running through. So with the Torii Gates, your experience gain is increased by 1.5 or 1.5. So if you were going to earn 40 experience, you now earn 60 experience. And what the Shogunate does, as you age up to age 3, it provides 300 experience. So you get a Daimyo and 300 experience, but it's actually 450 experience. So very, very nice synergy that we've got going on there from Noosh. Noosh is only on 60 population, actually being housed by H right now, and opting to ship in 8 Ashigaru Musketeers. It definitely feels very all-in from Noosh at this point. I really feel like... take a look at the macro here as well. Noosh dropping down some houses, now finally getting that up. He's going to just immediately have full batches. So has he dropped a second? I see a oh, he's training from the Daimyo, of course. But the Daimyo being forced out of position. Got quite a large mass. So 16 Ashigaru on the front line and 5 Yumi. I'd like to see more Yumi mixed in. And there come the Yumi. So really opting to just go full unit shipments and really going aggressive. I do like this strategy. It does feel very all-in, not opting to send those unit shipments. And let's take a look at H. Let's see. H has reached the 3rd age. I think I definitely missed that. But sending in Jaegers, I like this a lot. This is something that I definitely don't do enough as a Swedish player. And opting to get that upgrade as well from the barracks. Going to get veteran Karolians. Curious what we're going to see, whether he sends anything else behind this. Doesn't look like he's got the experience for it at the moment. He's lost a couple of torps. Is he going to be dropping down any more torps, or is he just going to be sitting at happy with where he is? Now we've got the Jaegers popping out. I think in this position, H is looking very, very strong. Scores definitely reflecting that now with H pulling up about 2k points. H going to get off a lovely volley on the first Ashigaru, not splitting the micro, but not really needing to at this point. and taking out the second Ashigaru. The third one probably going to go down. No, manages to take out a Yumi instead. So now we've got the 30 Caroleans and the 10 Jaegers up against the 19 Ashigaru and the 16 Yumis. But the Caroleans have pulled out their charge, looking like they want to go in. I don't know about this one, H. I feel like it's probably not the best idea because you've grouped some Caroleans back here and they've slowed down the charge that was on the front. It just feels so terrible when that happens. But H looking really, really good in a menacing position, I would say, because Japan wants to be aiming to just fire non-stop with their Yumis, just sit them down, really get an opportunity for them to be getting out their DPS. But at the same time, we've got the Explorer who's on the back line, just sieging down a Torp, or sieging down a Shrine. He's got 400 HP, so I'd like to see him over here snaring potentially. And we've got the Flaming Arrows, which are coming in now. Does H have a response to this? He's got Blackberries as his response. So definitely identifying that, you know what, Noosh is playing quite greedy, or no, quite all in here. I'm going to take the greedy route. And definitely shipping in those Blackberries. Instead of the 2 Falconets, instead of the Snap Lock, he says, I'm just going to ship Blackberries. I'm not too fussed. Do we see, we haven't seen any Artillery Foundry going down yet from H. A couple of Yamabushis burning down these Torps. It looks like they are going to go down. And we've got pretty big numbers out from H. In total, we've got 47 Caroleans and a reinforcing batch coming in as well. I would say H is definitely looking like he's in a great spot. Just doing a huge amount of damage over to Noosh in this position. H still ahead in score by about 2k, but he's got these Flaming Arrows that he's going to need to deal with. He should just be able to brute force through these Flaming Arrows. They're really not much of a threat when they're in a number like 2. And it looks like the second shipment is going to be coming in of Flaming Arrows. So this is a little bit more difficult to deal with. You can't really brute force down 4 Flaming Arrows. 2, definitely. 4, not so much. H opting to get the advanced arsenal upgrades for anybody who's just tuning in. They've never seen Sweden before, which unlikely if you've been on my stream before. But Sweden get the advanced arsenal for free. You don't have to ship it from the home city. You just get it. I don't know why. You just do. That's just how it is. That's just the definitive edition, baby. That's what we're all about. And so, do we see H dropping down that Artillery Foundry? I don't think that he's recognized that there's going to be that second shipment of Flaming Arrows coming out yet. Well, he should, because oh, no, that's still only 2 Flaming Arrows. It's a Daimyo that's in the middle, but we do actually see some Yabusamis coming out. I love to see Yabusamis. I was very skeptical of this unit, and then I actually looked at their stats and looked at their upgrades, and I was like, wait a minute, these things are fucking beasts. And that is indeed the case right now. We have some huge potential coming out from the Yabusami. He's going to be able to deal with any Culverin, going to pretty much just one-shot leather cannons. But H definitely moving into striking position, coming out very aggressively, grouping his Jaegers with his Caroleans. He's got that many units. He said, you know what? Stuff it. We're not going to put him in different control groups. Let's have a look and see what he's got coming out behind this. He's also got Paper Cartridge, going to be looking to fully upgrade them. And now we've got the charge coming out, charging in an awkward position, very difficult to get full. But oh, there's Caroleans on the back line that have just taken out the Flaming Arrows completely. Oh, I totally missed this sandwich of action that's going on right now. The good old-fashioned Carolean sandwich. H's numbers are just absolutely insane at this point. 23 Discipline Ashigaru going up against 5 Yumi. The Yabusami just really not being able to do much, just firing away, but there's no artillery, they're not too fast, and there's definitely no cavalry. For anyone who's new to the stream, Sweden don't get access to the stable, so the Swedish player will not be making any kind of 4-legged units. Or at least that's the way it used to be. I'm not sure if they've changed that, but it definitely looks like H is in a commanding position. I really can't see him losing from here. The score is reflecting that way. 5k up at this point. Going to be donating a unit as well. Noosh, what have you got? It doesn't look like any real shipments coming in besides the 9. Noosh, what are you doing with your resources, Noosh? Oh my god, I've just seen the macro from Noosh coming out now. Oh my lord. Jeez Louise. Noosh, you gotta spend these resources. You gotta get down a castle or something. You need a response to this, because right now your 4 Flaming Arrows, which were the saving grace, got picked up by Caroleans, and H is just marching into your base. We don't see a castle yet. We see a lot of villages, but there's no castle. He's put down the racks, the second racks, but he's just getting forced into a corner. I know that earlier in the stream I said nobody puts Noosh in the corner. But H is definitely doing it, and H is now on the villager line as well, going to be able to clean up villages as well as units. There's 12 Ashigaru that are defending, as well as the 9 Yumi that have come in. We've also got units that are being trained at the moment. H, what have you got? He's got a shipment on the reinforcements, and he's burning down torps or shrines at the moment. But it just looks like he's able to overwhelm. How many Jaegers has he still? He's still got 9 Jaegers. H still got 9 Jaegers at this point. Just really doing the work. Does he have a counter infantry rifling on these? He doesn't, because there's only 9 of them. Not a big deal, but I definitely got to say, this looks like it might be. Yeah, look at the score. This is definitely over. Well, oh, there we go. All right. So, holy moly. Can someone tell me if the Royal Mint card works on the torps? It does not. It does not. What a game. What a game we've got. It really, honestly, just came down to this moment here. So, g'day, fellas. Welcome to the third and the final, the deciding game between H and Knuschelbär. The winner in this is going to potentially go on to face against Kaiserklein tomorrow in the finals of the $1,000 table topper. Now, it is called the $1,000 table topper, but that was before the prize pool was up to $1,500 because we had a little bit of a complication. Spawning in on the south of the map, we've got Knuschelbär on the Japanese. And his opponent. On the north of the map is H, spawning in as the Japanese also. H opting for a Japanese mirror. I like this. This is a good call. So, let me just, let me clear my voice because we're about to head into the game 3. There we go. I've done that. I muted my mic. Just that's why you didn't hear it. So, let's talk about this game and talk about this matchup. Oh my lord. Let's turn off the Japanese. Turn off the Japanese. Let's turn off the Japanese. We've had enough of that. Let's go exclusively with Chinese and French. And we've got a little bit of a treasure contention heading down towards the south. Looks like H is going to be contending with a treasure that Nush had started on. He's got that Explorer sitting in there. The question, if the Divine Strike comes out, it looks like H is actually going to be able to bend down and get that one a slight bit faster. But the Rhino, big Randy the pet Rhino, has decided to ally with Knuschelbär instead. A huge victory right here coming out from Nush. So we've got the double Japanese play. So very curious to see, are we going to see some potential water this game? You know, a person doesn't pick Borneo and says to himself, I'm going to pick Borneo and then I'm going to play on land. Maybe he does. I don't know. Maybe he does. Who will win game 3? The vote is currently going on in chat. You've got a couple of minutes, I think maybe 1 or 2 minutes, to make your mind up. This is the deciding match between Knuschelbär and H. I'm incredibly excited. Oh my god. I'm getting those little tingly things, because I tell you what, if Sweden was to get nerfed, we would really, you know, we would probably be going down the Japanese rabbit hole. And Randy just putting in some work right now. Randy just being an absolute tank. 27 damage, by the way, with 1.2 modifier against the Treasure Guardians. And we've got the Japanese Explorer coming down to pick up the 20 coin treasure right outside Knuschelbär's base. It's going to be difficult. Both players playing the Japanese. I always find mirrors a little bit more difficult to cast, just primarily because both players are playing the same civ and you can't really identify a flag. But we do have, it looks like another potential treasure steal coming in from H, but he's not going to be able to get there in time. Recognizing that and pulling back before Randy the Rhino has his way with him. And I tell you what, he's a fierce looking Randy. Look at him go. 5 movement speed. God. We'll come back to Randy in just a moment. H, shipping in 3 fishing boats as his first card on the top side. There they come in. He's also opted to go with the Portuguese consulate. So when I see the Portuguese consulate, I think of one thing. I think of the Toshogu Shrine. Now, whether we're going to see that drop down or whether we're going to see the more meta Torii Gates build is yet to be decided. I'm curious what H has got in store. Let's take a look at his deck. Very interesting. So he's opted only for 3 fishing boats in Age 1. And the deck is called 1v1 Anti-Sea. So he's really, you know, these are fighting words. He's got the 2 Atakabunis, as well as the 2 Funes. We've also got another treasure contention going down. It looks like H was able to pick up the beautiful portrait of a woman, or the portrait of the beautiful one, or the beautiful woman's portrait. However you like to say it, but opting to go with the Toshogu Shrine, putting the Toshogu Shrine... Now, this is my theory. When you put a building down, in the Definitive Edition, the units move away from it. And look, we see that as almost instantly, as he puts the Toshogu Shrine down, all the units are just migrating. I guarantee you, they move up here. 100%. Like, there's no 2 ways about it. They're not going to move back this way. No, never. Never, never, no. So, that's my theory. Knuschelbär has already put his age up down. Let's see what he's gone for. He's also gone for the Toshogu Shrine. And we see the same thing happening to Knuschelbär. They've put it down on their hunts. Each player has put down a Toshogu Shrine directly on top of a hunt. And the hunt is just moving away from it. What is this? Another 120 wood now going over to Knuschelbär. Apologies for missing that one. It looks like there was a bit of a contention, but really there's not much of a contention. When you've got Randy on your team, there's just, yeah. Don't do it, Randy. Don't do it, Randy. Don't stop looking at him, Randy. Not like this, Randy. Good boy, good boy, Randy. And one of the interesting things that we've also got going on is there's a dock. Oh no, look at that deck straight away. I'm like, do we need to do an IP check? Is this Kinesi? I got a feeling this might be Kinesi, because I tell you what, this looks like a deck that Kinesi would have. Let's just take a minute to recognize what's been going on with this deck right now, because we've got advanced dock. That's the first big warning sign. That's 150% all action damage to the dock. We've also got double fish market, which can be sent twice. Yes, you heard that right. The whale oil, as well as rendering plant. We've got 2 upgrades for the boats. So if they want to get into a fight, well, they're going to be doing a lot more damage, as well as have slightly longer range. And we've got the fumes. Now we've got the age up coming through. And hey, is it Kinesi? Is that you? I recognize these walls. And the second dock going up as well. Have we got any more docks going up around the map? Really, we got to go check. It doesn't look like it. At least not yet, but we've got the 600 wood coming out, which is going to be the first card, and the wall being completely finished in. On the other side of the map, though, we've got the Teshogu Shrine going. Yep, there it is, fellas. There it is. Drongo called it. The Seros just moving completely away. Do any of the Seros even get attracted to the big shrine? God, that feels bad. And now we've got the second Explorer coming in to pick up the first Explorer, and H opting to send 4 villagers first instead of 600 wood. Now, one of the most greedy builds that you can do in this game is the 600 wood 4-vil, but H obviously opting not to go for that because he didn't go for Heavenly Kami. He's opted for a bit more of a water boom. With the Portuguese consulate shipping in those 3 fishing boats, we've also got the 3 fishing boats coming in for Knusch as well. So both players opting to send that in, and we've got a flag. How did H get his flag down here? H's first shipping fishing boats got... H, how did you put your flag down here? And he's got no fishing boats in the area either. Why does... How did his flag get there? Can you... Are you able to put your flag down where you have... I thought it was only when you had line of sight. I thought it was only when you had line of sight. I've been moving units so that they had line of sight. It used to be that way. Unless I was... Is it the children who are wrong? Or is it just me? Wait. We've got this is Knusch. I thought this was H. I saw the flag back here. It's Knusch coming in and putting the defensive fumes down, really just protecting his ocean, and he's really expanding into it, making sure. God, I can't believe I didn't know that. Surely that has to be a recent change, right? I've been playing this game for millions of years. But we've got the third and oh, Knusch, are you? Knusch definitely went into this and he's like, I've got a strategy prepared. Don't you worry, guys. He's got a fucking strategy prepared, all right. This is the 4th dock that's going down. That's 170 wood he's spending on each one of these. But now we've got the fumes fight. Oh no, Knuschelbär has just opted to go for the treasure, and at the same time, H has actually shipped his fumes in and going to be managing to take out one of the fumes from Knuschelbär, and now they do that wiggle. Do, 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 do. Wiggle. You guys like it, I like it. And the fumes definitely like it, so I'm incredibly... Oh, what unfortunate timing. Knusch just saying, I've shipped these somewhat early, preemptively, you know, because I suspect that H is going to ship his as well. I'm just going to take out this treasure. And as he does that, H just ship in on perfect timing right behind him. Gosh, that is so unfortunate. Do we have any battles going on the land at the moment? Have we got a Rax out from anybody? It doesn't look like there's a Rax down yet from H. And definitely no Rax coming out yet from Knusch. What's our top population? Sorry, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. We've also got Knusch sending the improved warship, so not opting to send rendering plant, whale oil, or fish market. He says, I'm gonna play head on with you, which is one of the interesting things because, like, I don't know how I feel about that. Oh, Randy, no, Randy, not like this, Randy. Randy, he was so young. But a reasonable sacrifice. Because now Knusch has been able to scout out that that H is actually on water and he's going for it. He's going to be healing up. These are so hard. You've got to really drag box these bad boys to get them in. It's so difficult. Do we have... Oh no, those are the fishing boats and there's the flag there. So what are H's options? Let's have a look and see what he's got. He's going for the 600 wood. Oh, he's macroing for an age up. So interesting to see players not opting to put down a single military production building before aging up to the 3rd age. A market going down for Knuschelbär. This is the 8-minute market. Not too bad, but Knuschelbär actually getting out a whole bunch of funes. Going to be able to take out Haitch completely. Just absolutely destroys that. Now, he wouldn't have been able to do the damage that he did if he didn't ship this card. He shipped improved warships, and he was able to get off massive burst there. And now we see... Wow, Knuschelbär's... did I say Knuschelbär? Oh my god! Oh my god, I said Knuschelbär! Sorry, I just see walls like this and I see water play. I'm like, this is Knuschelbär. I talked myself too much into Knuschelbär. Knuschelbär's dominating. No, this is Noosh that we've got here. Noosh, if you're in the chat, I apologize. Or if you're watching this back on YouTube at a later date. This is Noosh that we're watching. We're not watching Knuschelbär. It definitely feels like we're watching Knuschelbär though. After seeing that. So, Noosh... Oh my god, I almost said Knuschelbär again. Now Noosh is opting to send in rendering plant behind this. I like this. He's somewhat maintained control over the water. Haitch is putting down a castle as well. This is really going to enable him to hold this point and say to Noosh, you know what, Noosh? You can come in with your funes. I don't really care. I've got a castle here, so come at me. And we also see Noosh is continuing to train villagers at 52 villages now. We don't appear to have a barracks down from either player, or at least from Noosh yet. Do we have one down from Haitch yet? Haitch also going up with the Shogunate. Is this becoming meta? Why are we seeing so much Shogunate play? Does he not have... See, he's got Daimyo Mododata in his deck. I'm curious why they're not going up with the... why they're not going up with the Golden Pavilion. I feel like the Golden Pavilion's so important, especially in matches like this where statistics are going to be so important on your Ashigaru and your Yumi. But cute little walls coming in from Noosh. And no real other expansion that's going down. Haitch is shipping in the 2 Flaming Arrows, which is... going to be pretty pivotal, I would say. Having the Flaming Arrows out is going to mean that you can ship them to a forward point, so probably to the castle. There's not really much for him to take out, though, on this north side, other than a shrine. It's just not worth it, but now we do see a bit of action on the north side. It looks like the Fune is almost going to be taken out completely with Noosh's Funes chasing, but the second Fune has popped out for Haitch. Keep in mind, look at the stat difference between these 800 HP versus 1000 HP. And do we have any upgrades coming out from Noosh? We don't have any further upgrades, but we've got 60 villages compared to the 39 of H. So huge lead. They've both got the Toshogu Shrines down, but Noosh's Toshogu Shrine, his shrine pops only at 80 at the moment. So a pretty big dent. I'd say that at the moment, Noosh should definitely be ahead, but it wouldn't be by a lot. Maybe about 10 villages equivalent. And H is definitely ahead when it comes to the tech. We can see that that's reflected in the score. But Noosh doing a great job now, just cleaning up the ocean. Obviously picking up that 200 coin treasure as well. Great to see him taking advantage of this. What is this treasure? 100 wood here for 2 great white sharks. He gets the shots off. He gets the shots off. And he has sealed the deal. So that's 1 Fune being taken down completely. I'm curious, did he get that second Fune? He didn't get the second Fune that was over here. So there's 1 Fune that remains. But one of the frustrating things about dealing with this is that when you've got docks all around the map like this, like you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, only 4 docks at the moment. Just a casual 4 docks for Noosh. It's really hard to shut this down. We've got the, sorry, I'm just going to take a swig of my my Red Bull, fellas. Just give me a moment. Oh, there we go. Much better. Oh, that hit the spot. Red Bull really hits the spot for me. This stream is sponsored by Red Bull. It's not really. But Red Bull, if you're watching, I'm open to a partnership. Now, we've got the Daimyo. So this is the forward shipment point that I was talking about. Didn't go to the castle. Came down to the Daimyo, which was from the Shogunate. And definitely going to give him a lot of tempo. So I guess that was probably something that I had a bit of oversight on, is that now we've really got a lot of tempo that's swung into H's favor. He's begun cleaning up the shoreline. Now, if we take a look at H's perspective, he knows about the docks on the shore. He knew about this dock. He knows about this dock. He doesn't know about the docks down here. He knows about this dock, but I'm assuming he's going to be working in a circular fashion, a radial fashion, and moving to aim to clear Noosh completely off land. Just kind of leave him in the water. If you've seen the movie Waterworld, it's a little bit like that. That's what he wants to be aiming to do with Noosh. So a bit of an unfortunate location to put your cherry orchards. I guess Noosh always assumed that he was going to have control of the water. Obviously shipping improved warships as well as having the extra cards in your deck, you really would think that you would have the control over the water. And unfortunately, it's meant that he's somewhat lost control of the water and now loses 5,000 food. I do suspect he will potentially regain this back at some point, but right now, he's idle. His villagers are on the move. And we've got the 3 Funes now for Noosh that have finally showed up, but he's got to be incredibly careful. Take a look at these flaming arrows. We've got the Haitch ship, the Caravel from the home city, but it looks like it's going to get sniped. These Caravels have got... You killed the Petards. The Petards committed suicide. There were 3 Petards in that. Haitch completely forgetting that he shipped this Caravel down here from the Portuguese home city and losing his Caravel and the 3 Petards that were inside. Those 3 Petards... I mean, Haitch could have just very easily dropped them off. Bam, town center dead. Town center just immediately dead. And now Noosh would be in a very awkward point because he'd have no unit shipment point. There'd be nothing. He doesn't have another town center up. He doesn't have any outposts, anything like that. Those 3 Petards are pivotal. I can't believe that. All right, so now we've got a little bit of a land army beginning to build up for Noosh. He's got the Yabusami. Now, these guys are going to be very easily able to deal with these flaming arrows. Do not underestimate these. Oh my god. Look at the force that's coming out from Haitch at this point. Let's turn off the Fog of War just so that we don't miss any of the action. But the Daimyo on the shoreline coming out from Noosh, trying to siege it down. I don't think Noosh realizes that his Daimyo is attempting to siege it down, but the Tekusen also going down. And oh my god, I've missed a couple of flaming arrows going down. They're going down to the Yabusami on the north-hand side. We're too focused on that Daimyo. The Daimyo also going down from Haitch and completely losing his flaming arrows. His flaming arrows are focused on the town center somewhat. Does it get a second shot off on the town center? It does. If he'd had these Petards, they wouldn't be firing at this town center. They'd be firing at these Ashigarus. But they're not. They're firing at each other. And as a result, we do see a second town center now going up from Haitch on the back of this, attempting to really gain that map control. But he is being repelled quite well. A lot of that going down to the Yabusami. But it looks like Noosh's Daimyo managed to survive with 214 HP. So despite me being hyper-focused over there, and Noosh is now putting down a second town center on the shoreline, aiming to defend. We've got some huge ships. I don't even know. Oh my lord. I don't even know the names of these ships, but they're just very beautiful looking, aren't they? We've got this one here, which is the Atakubani. I don't think I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. Coming out from Haitch. He's also shipping improved warships from the home city. We've got action going on everywhere. Some fishing boats dying. And some units being cleaned up, but at the same time we've got a town center that's being pushed down here on the front behind this. So we've got Haitch still shipping that improved warships, really aiming to do a lot of work here. But these units, I think these are like the equivalent of frigates. And then we've got these units here, which do these have the siege trooper tag? They do. They've got the siege trooper tag. So these are your galleons. Japanese galleons, obviously they've got the skin. So these will take reduced damage from town centers, because town centers do 50% to siege units, and they are siege units, so they do reduced damage to them. Whereas if you've got, say, something like this, it's a warship as opposed to a siege unit. And so Haitch now calling his Minutemen from the town center, trying to delay this inevitable attack from Noosh before it continues. Let's switch over to Noosh's side. He's been stacking a shipment for quite a while now. Curious to see what he's going to send, whether we get those flaming arrows up, but he doesn't really have the population space. He's got a lot of resources that are stacked up, and the fight is ensuing 28 attack versus 28 attack and 204. So these Ashigaru are evenly matched against each other, but Haitch looking like he's going to be losing a couple of villages here. Haitch, wake up. You got to put these villas inside your town center, get it firing. I know that you need that coin very badly, but we've got units under attack here. The Yabusami is going for a little bit of a raid, and we've also got European cannons coming in from Knuschelbär. So despite being somewhat victorious on water, saying I need to sort of guarantee my presence there, I'd love to see a castle from Noosh and a bit of a switch. Got a bunch of units that have been forgotten about. 5 Ashigaru, but units continue moving across the map for Haitch. Looks like he's going to be opting to go for a bit of a raid, and a second castle being placed down in the middle of the map. I want to take a look at Haitch's line of sight, but we'll do that after this battle, because look at oh my god, look at the stats on these, and they're about to get European cannons as well, so that'll take them up to 30 range, which is the same as a frigate. It's going to give them a huge attack, 126 ranged attack. God, that's a lot of damage. They're basically one-shotting villages at that point. And now Noosh is feeling quite safe in this game, looking pretty good. And we just saw then Haitch has actually shipped in the upgrade, which is going to give his 15% hit points. He's got a little bit of a stat bonus now against Noosh in this Ashigaru war. Not seeing a lot of Yumi archers out. I'm not sure exactly what the reason why is behind that. I guess they just don't have a lot of siege. And Haitch walking away with his tail between his legs for the moment. Let's have a look at the line of sight from Haitch. So we've got the town center down to the south, as well as the outpost on the north side and in the middle of the map. We've also got a third town center going down from Haitch. So he's got 64 villagers, doing a really good job. It's only at 16 minutes in the game. He's almost maxed out his villagers. So great job from Haitch. But for wait, oh, because he's got them in queue. I see. Okay, he's only actually got 59 villagers. But it does look like this town center is not long for the world because we've got 9 vills inside it, but a lot of Ashigaru is doing a circle siege on it. More reinforcing Ashigaru coming out from Haitch on the north-end side of the map. I love that he's picked this point and said, I'm going to make this my new base. I'm really going to sort of hammer down here? Hunker down. I'm going to hunker down here. But Knusch still got an absolutely large and in-charge force. How many fishing boats do we have at the moment? 41 fishing boats for Knusch. 82 villagers. 3k coin stacked up at the moment. And shipping whale oil. He said, I don't have enough coin. I need more coin. Knusch, what are you going to do with all that coin, buddy? You got to be putting down... Oh, there we go. Okay, now we see a castle. And we see a couple of the frigate equivalents that are being trained currently. The whale oil is still going down, not shipping any further age 3 units from the home city. But this is definitely a problem for Knusch because while he does have his units across the map that are relatively unharmed, I suspect that we're going to continue to see them driving around the map. But look at these sneaky guys just doing work, getting past the big boy. I'm just going to call him the big boy. That's what he's going to be called, the big boy. And we've got 5 Yabusami coming out because Knusch has recognized that we do indeed have flaming arrows coming out from Haitch. A bit more of a fight on the north-hand side. This game is fucking action-packed, man. I can't keep up with everything that's going on right now. We've got the fishing boats. Oh, every day I'm shuffling. Did you see that little shuffle he had going right there? 2 shots. Look how much damage that just did. That's a single shot. Look at it. Every day I'm shuffling. Okay, I think he's given up. No, he's got it in range. All right, and now we've got the mass of Knusch moving over. Are they moving over to the Fune? Oh, they're moving over to the big boy. The big boy's going to get a broadside off. He gets a broadside off on the Ashigaru on top of them. Haitch has got a pretty big reinforcing batch here. We see coming in, but we've got 3 flaming arrows about to pop out and be able to flank the flaming arrows from Haitch. Is Knusch going to get inside his big boy? Or are we going to see him lose? So he's got 25. I definitely don't think Haitch can engage on this. Especially knowing that there's 3 flaming arrows to the side with a daimyo that's just hanging out, having a good time. Haitch loses his first flaming arrow. The second one's about to go down to the frigate on the south side of the map. But we've got some reinforcing Atakabunis. We've got some reinforcing Japanese galleons coming in here, as well as some more big boys from H. And look at the stats on these. 1400 health. Up against what? What is this? This is 2,500 health versus 3,500. Did anybody just see the frigate like shot a little bit of building at this frigate? Oh my gosh. But definitely being able to repel this now from Knusch. Knusch is looking in a prime position, but we see the scores are almost even within 500 points. The scores are even. They're within 10 points of each other at this point. We've got 75 villagers for H. We've got 84 villagers for Knusch. We've got a much larger population of shrines. And the battle is just really looking even at this point. H is also going age 4. Oh no, this is Knusch going age 4. Knusch is going age 4 behind this. H is really looking in a position where he doesn't look like he can go up. He's wanting to train units and at the same time not lose this town center. I don't know how pivotal this town center is. He's got his full 75 villagers out at the moment. I think he can probably afford to lose this, but he really wants the coin mine. Doesn't look like he's got a backup coin mine that he can go to, but he does know that this is Knusch's coin mine. One of the things H needs to think about though is while this might be one of Knusch's coin mines, Knusch's got enough coin. He's got all these whales in the ocean. And speaking of whales, God, they look so silly, don't they? We've also got an Ashigaru Musketeer upgrade coming in. And Knusch is opting... What is he going up? He's going up with the Buddha. Why is he going up with Big Buddha? Why not? Why aren't you guys going up with the bloody... What's that one that I can't remember the name of? The Golden Pavilion. Go up with the Golden Pavilion. What are you guys doing? What do you even get from this? I think you get some Naganadas. You get Naganadas and an Orchid Rickshaw. What? Why though? Why though? And H has moved into position, managing to clean up a lot of the backline now here from Knuschelbär. Oh my god. I'm losing my voice at this point. We've got another 2 series to cast after this, and I'm only in the first series on the 3rd game. And this game isn't even over yet. Oh my gosh, we've got H pulling ahead massively now. A 4k score lead for H. I don't know what has happened. It might just be that he's entered... H going up with the Golden Pavilion. Finally, we've seen the Golden Pavilion coming out. Oh my god. All right, Harrison, where are you? I need your help, buddy, because I tell you what, I'm not going to be able to do this alone. This is crazy. I'm going to need to take another swig of my Red Bull. Just give me a second, fellas. We can see the flaming arrows taking out each other. We don't have the honored flaming arrows yet coming in for Knusch. Let's have a look. Do we have honored flaming arrows? No. We don't have any flame... Oh, we've got 16 idols as well, but Knusch doing a pretty good job. Still, Knusch's constant battle this game has been with his population. You know, some people have problems with their macro, some people have it with their micro, but Noosh has got it with his houses. He's playing a civ that literally generates resources out of thin air, and he's not building enough houses. There you go. Oh my gosh. All right, and we continue seeing the fight unpack, unfold. It's and now we've got Age moving in on the left-hand side of the map. Discipline Ashigaru. He hasn't upgraded them yet because he hasn't reached the 4th age, but we've got Honored Ashigaru now coming out. Let's compare those stats between the two. 255 and 36 against 229 and 34. Really close, honestly. Incredibly close. A lot closer than I thought it would have been. And I guess that just really shows because Age has sent both of his upgrade cards, whereas Noosh hasn't sent either of his upgrade cards. So it really comes down to now we've got a raid heading down in the top side of the map. We've got some Naganadas that are taking out. These are the Naganadas from the Age Up. And we've also got informers that haven't been sent yet. Some Yumi going over to deal with the Nagi. Probably not the best choice, but probably the only choice at the moment because I suspect there wouldn't be any other units in the area. Now Noosh has got more units in queue dealing with this raid. We've got the Honored Flaming Arrows. The Honored Flaming Arrows, but they're going to get picked off by the Ashigaru. Ashigaru going into the formation that allows them to split up. We've got the Flaming Arrows coming in behind from Haitch. And it looks like he's going to be donating 4 Flaming Arrows for free. Thank you very much, says Haitch. And Haitch beginning to, or still pulling ahead on score. He's up about 1,000 points, or really not even 1,000 points. He's up 400 points at the moment. Scores are still bloody tight. And we've got a ship going down over here. I didn't quite see it exactly what happened. But a bit of action on the north side. And we've got an Ironclad coming in. Where do you get it? You're Japanese. How do you have an Ironclad? Noosh! Yo, mods, admin, can we check? Can Japanese get Ironclads? Can someone confirm? Why do we have an Ironclad? It must be from the consulate, right? The Portuguese consulate. It's got to be. I can't imagine where else it would be from. You can't build those things. But H pushing in on land and just absolutely hammering home. Check the village account. We've got 75 up against 81. But there's 19 idle villas. And at the same time, we've got the Ironclad just absolutely doing work on the north-hand side of the map. Holy moly, H has got a whole bunch of units in queue, defending a raid and absolutely destroying this raid. Nush was going for a raid on the north side. We've got Honored Ashigaru finally in queue for H. He's got this golden pavilion up. We're going to see those upgrades. Check out the stats. We've got 37, 252 up against the 36 and 255. So close. And he's getting honored on top of that. These Ashigaru are doing absolute work. And the Honored Flaming Arrows are just able to pick up. H looks like he's in a commanding position at this point. And what just got... The monitors just took out the fucking Flaming Arrows from downtown. Holy shit, man. That was 3 Flaming Arrows that just died to that monitor. Wow. What the fuck is this? Oh my god. And at the same time, we've got the galleon just tanking the fire from the castle. Look how much damage this is doing. It's doing, how much do we see? 50 damage at a time because it's tanking. And it looks like Noosh has been completely able to overwhelm H on land. Let's have a look at H's line of sight. He's got absolutely nothing, sorry, on water. But we do see he's getting those upgrades. He's got the artillery speed upgrade just in now from the Golden Pavilion. Oh my lord, what is this game right now? And we've finally got that ship going down on the south-end side. But he's putting in a lot of work on this castle, but we've got a monitor. The monitor's coming in. He said, hey, that's my castle. You ain't gonna take this away from me. Now we've got a bit of a score lead coming out from Knuschelbär. And at the same time, we've got attacks that are going up here on the north-hand side. So Noosh is really coming in and pushing in with his frigates. Frigates are the French version of the frigate, but H is doing a little bit of the cheeky. He's got the Shogun out. He's gonna decide whether he wants to siege this wall or not. He has decided indeed he's gonna siege this wall, takes down that wall. Let's compare the stats between these two. 255 and 39 versus 45 and 308. Holy crap. This really just like comes down to how important it is to send those unit upgrades. And on the backline, we've got Noosh's Honored Flaming Arrows on the backhand side. One of them going down. There's 3 of them here. We've got a shipment of 4 on the way. He's also got the 14 Ashigaru that he can send from the home city. He's got 2 shipments that are floating, still sitting on 170 population. He really just can't ever hit that 200 population. And look at this macro, Noosh. Make units, Noosh. Noosh, you need wood, buddy. Just get the market out and just fucking buy some wood, man. Build a racks. I don't even know. Holy shit, man. All right. Oh, I'm losing my mind at this point. God. All right. And now the town center's gone down, but the Shogun is standing on the front line. The Flaming Arrow pop comes in, takes out the Flaming Arrow on the back line. We've got a monitor here. The monitor looking like it's going to get some shot on the Yamabushis. But the Yamabushi's now on the back line with the Shogun as well. Shogun one-shotting the Flaming Arrow, 218 HP. It looks like the Flaming Arrow is getting off the double shot. Is he going to be able to get the second shot on the Honored Flaming Arrows? It looks like he's going to be able to get the shot off. Noosh wasn't paying attention, and he loses the second Flaming Arrow. Oh my lord, this game has got everything on them. And meanwhile, on the top side, we've got the Ironclad just putting in work on this Japanese town center from Haitch. And Haitch is burning down the shrines to the right-hand side. On the left-hand side, we've still got the push going on. The Shogun manages to get away with 252 health. Can we see it? Can we see a monitor snipe right here? 177 health. Really, you can see that Ashigaru is just going in for the dive on that one. But Haitch is just doing work. He's over on the right-hand side. He's looking like he's gonna seal. But the points are so close. The points are so close. They're within 200 points of each other. We've got the second racks coming down. We've got the monitor here to back it up. But yeah, Haitch is still not giving up. Never give up. Never surrender. Haitch is just cleaning up. I want to see the line of sight for Noosh, because right now you're probably getting under attack from a million different angles. He's managed to repel this, but we've got the more flaming arrows coming in to finish him off. And at the same time, we've got the Ashigaru, which are just cleaning up everything. How is Noosh going to be able to hold this? I think I'm pretty sure this is over at this point. Behind this, look at the perfect macro coming out from Haitch. He's got absolutely no... He's not floating any resources. Meanwhile, we've got 3,500 resources now being floated by Noosh. Noosh, you gotta be training units. You get that tech from the Japanese consulate that allows you to like train a whole bunch of units. What have you got? You got that Portuguese consulate? No, you don't even. You're not even allied. Quick, Noosh, do it. No, do it. And the 4 flaming arrows coming in and cleaning up the 2 flaming arrows from Hazza. Oh my god, I'm losing my voice. I'm losing my mind. This is amazing. Oh my god. Holy moly, we've got action in all ends, and the Funes are coming back. Oh my god, you saw these Funes at the beginning of the game, and now they're coming in to do a little bit of a dance with the enemy frigate, but at the same time, we've got a repelling volley that's coming off from the flaming arrows. He's got 5 flaming arrows sitting down on the back line. We've got more flaming arrows in queue. How many do we have? It looks like just 1 at the moment. Just the 1 flaming arrow, a whole bunch of idle vills, and somehow Knuschelbär has been able to repel this. How did Noosh repair? How did he repel this? He's actually like pushing out as well. If we go look in the line of sight, he's not under attack from any... Oh my god, he's got so many flaming arrows. Yo, this guy is lame as motherfucker. You can't make that artillery. That's illegal, Noosh. Did nobody tell you that? Nobody told Noosh that it's illegal to make that much artillery. How is Haitch going to respond to this? Haitch is making villages. You don't need to be making villages right now, Haitch. I need to see flaming arrows coming out from you. Where are the flaming arrows? We've got flaming arrows, 2 flaming arrows right here. I want to see this switched over. This needs to be flaming arrows. It can't be. There's too many flaming arrows coming out from Noosh. Oh, and more. He's got more Ashigarus coming out. Now, these Ashigarus, they're fully upgraded. He does have the Shogun still alive. We've got a little bit of action on the backside, and Haitch just still taking out the Japanese infrastructure. This has been such a balanced game despite Noosh having relative control of the water the entire game. I'm curious, how many fishing boats do we see? We still see 28 fishing boats coming out from Noosh. He is beginning to lay siege. But look at this massive honored flaming arrows. Oh my god. This guy. Oh my god. How is he doing this right now? That's so much. I feel like the only response to this is more flaming arrows. You can't, obviously you can't build a stable. I wouldn't expect to see a stable out from either of these players. Similarly to the Swedish, you just don't really get a lot of stables in these kind of matchups, just because you don't need them. Your infantry unit is just too good. And now we do see Haitch moving into position. Does he have any more of these bad boys in queue? He's got a couple in queue. I suspect he's got 2 in queue at the moment, but he's trying to micro them back. He's got, wait, I thought he had the speed upgrade. It might have been the health upgrade. 259 versus 218. He does have the health upgrade. I don't know whether it's going to make a difference between these two. But look at what's the response at this point? You've got so many flaming arrows. I feel like the best point, like, Haitch has got to be sending... He's used all of his shipments up already. He doesn't have any more in queue. He needs to be selling right now from the market. He needs to get an amazing pop here and just really flank... What? What? Why did you quit here, Haitch? Haitch, what? Why now? Why did... The flaming arrows were about to pop. I guess he's out of resources, isn't he? He's getting pushed back. He's on his flaming arrows. He's got his coin mine right here. His attack was repelled. He's got this boat still, but... Oh my god. Knuschelbär beats Haitch in the first series. Let me update the scoreboard. I can only assume that Haitch has lost this game. Knuschelbär is obviously in a much better position here. I really don't think there's a question about who won this game. I guess my question is, why did Haitch resign in this point? Like, obviously, I can see the scores, after being so tight for all of the game, have definitely blown out in Noosh's favor. Look how much resources, or how many resources Noosh is floating. He's floating almost enough to go to Imperial at this point. Obviously enough to remass. It really just came down to Haitch not having enough artillery, deciding for whatever reason to ship the Ashigaru instead of the Flaming Arrows. And it really became pivotal because we saw that Noosh was just able to overwhelm. And definitely, if Noosh wasn't going to call the GG down here, where he's getting his ass pushed in by H just incredibly, there's absolutely no way he's going to be calling GG right here, where he's pushing in with 7 flaming arrows, a huge massive Ashigaru, outnumbering the Ashigaru of H by more than 12, despite H having the Shogun on the backline. Well played to Noosh. Well played to Noosh. Holy moly. But ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere, because you thought that series was good. We got 2 more of these bad boys coming up for you. Holy moly. Noosh beating H in the first series. So now the question is, what's going to happen from here? What happens from here? So we've got 2 more series to cast. The next series that we're going to be casting is, let's have a look.